Pledge of Allegiance. Would you like to lead us?
Oh, sounds good. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item is the minutes from March 19.
It's only going to be the non-public.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the non-public minutes from March 19th, 2026.
I'll second.
Motion by Dawn, second by Steve Sever.
There you go.
Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, it's 5-0. And the consent agenda, please.
Sorry, whoever's reading it.
Yeah,
You got it, Scott?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's sort of the VP's job.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for April 2nd, 2026. Accounts payable payment manifest 2025 dated 3/26/26. Accounts payable payment manifest 2026 dated 3/26/26. Accounts payable ACH payment manifest NHRS and Harper's dated 3/23/26. Accounts payable special payment manifest dated 3/20/26. Payroll payment manifest dated 3/26/26. Seasonal 2 water sewer warrant effective 11/12/25. Quarter 2 water sewer warrant effective 3/25/26. Land use change tax for map lot number 109030001 in the amount of $9,000. Land use change tax for map lot number 217133-001 in the amount of $10,200. Removal of veterans credit $750 as map lot number 109041 no longer qualifies. Removal of veterans credit $750 as map lot number 116-061 no longer qualifies. Resignation of Scott Severn from the planning board. Tax supplement warrant for alternate assessment on map lot number 115-034 in the amount of $18,560.50. Nomination for renewal of health officer appointment for Michael Lacasse. Appointment of Jeremy Fisher, moving from alternate to regular planning board member through March 13th, 2029. Appointment of Scott Severn to the Capital Improvements Program Committee through March 13th, 2029. Transfer from general fund to the transfer station revolving fund in the amount of $15,427.42. Transfer from the general fund to the Conservation Commission fund in the amount of $27,716.70. Transfer from the general fund to the EMS fundraiser fund in the amount of $196.55. Transfer from the general fund to the police detail revolving fund in the amount of $15,264.54. Transfer from the air compressor fund to the general fund in the amount of $447.03. Transfer from water department's operating fund to the general fund in the amount of $125,167.25. Transfer from the sewer department's operating fund to the general fund in the amount of $2,376.78. Removal of veterans tax credit $750 from map lot number 114-067 as it no longer qualifies. Removal of elderly exemption, $75,000 from map lot number 114-067 as it no longer qualifies. Approval of new application for veterans credit for map lot number 114-067 in the amount of $750. Approval of new application for elderly exemption for map lot number 114-067 in the amount of $75,000.
Second.
That's it?
Nice job, Scott.
Okay. Any items on the consent agenda that anyone wants to discuss or pull out?
I just want to point out two things for you. On all of those transfers, those are 2025. Those are closing out the 2025 transfers. So that is, I want to point out for you, the transfer station, that's the revenue that we changed with the warrant articles. So
Okay.
we're moving that over. And then the Conservation Commission, that was their 50% that is moving over.
From the change use tax?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that cleans up those funds for 2025, and then we'll start 2026, probably in another few weeks.
All right.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll point out, you don't have a manifest from this week. They fixed some accounts for us, and I couldn't run a manifest, so I'm going to have to run one tomorrow, and I'll be in touch with you. I'm paying half of the school payment from
Okay.
February, because we owe them February and March. So I'm doing it. I talked to the treasurer, the person over there, their treasurer, our treasurer, and she said anything will help. So I figured half a payment would be good, and then we're going to reevaluate where we are once we get our bond payment for April. And so
Okay.
I-
Yep.
I have a question on why the CIP appointment is before us. It's a subcommittee of the planning board.
it's before us. We can't. So we researched that. It is a
Yeah.
subcommittee of the planning board. However, there's no proof of when it was established and how they were appointed. So we've been appointing them.
Okay,
Yeah.
just to see
Yeah.
what they,
I believe that the planning board also discussed it,
Right.
but we've been doing the appointment here because
Just
we've
in
gone
case.
back to try to research it and we can't,
okay.
and that's what the attorney said, just do it. to
Just
the
do it.
board. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion?
It's,
I guess
any
there's,
way that it says signature, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sorry.
So, Christina, I know you said, half the payment to the school to kind of keep everything moving along.
Yeah,
And I know that there's been, obviously, just a bunch of work done to get all the reports out. Are they able to do sort of a cash flow report
No.
between now and soon?
no,
No?
we'll be talking about that. No.
Okay, all right. There you go.
All right. All those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that's 5-0. Thank you. All right. Assessing land use department updates.
We're back?
We're
Yep.
back.
Okay.
In your folders under number 4, there's a couple of items. I put their department, I don't know what else, Joanne will give you other updates,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I put their
Okay.
department data summary in there. So just to explain what we're doing, we've talked about having departments in more for updates.
Yep.
So at yesterday's department meeting, we signed people up and they're going to be for the plan is in the future, March, April, May. And then again, August, September, October, right before budget. So we're signed up through the rest of the year for departments, so
Great.
they still can come in on off weeks if they have a purchase order that they have to get done. But so Joanne was already scheduled to come, so we set her up to do her update the same night. Also in your folder is a document on why does 1978 matter, and that it's going to talk about the zoning amendment and the lead. So
Yeah.
you can start with whatever you want.
So again, that's why Mike is still here this evening. We attended a training sometime last year in regards to a law change that went into effect in July of 2024.
July 1, 2021.
Yeah, in regards to basically like lead safety and with the state and the EPA involvement and everything. And interestingly, right before that training, I had received a call from, was it the EPA that called us in regards to TTCC?
Yes, and DHHs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in regards to work being done inside, and that there were some concerns in regards to the interior work in such an old building, and was there remediation taking place to protect the lead dust and all of that.
This came to us because we were on the paperwork for the grants, or?
No, well, I think
Just-
because of the building, the land use permit, or,
Oh, okay.
at that time it was the land use permit, the certificate of zoning
Yeah,
compliance.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
And EPA basically told us that we're the local,
Yeah.
we're like the local boots
Bad
on
guy?
the ground, yeah.
It's just like septics, same thing. The
Yeah.
state makes the rules, and then it's up to you to enforce them.
Well, but, okay, this is where I definitely have a bunch of questions about
Okay.
this, mainly because it's not so much the law changed in 1978, totally get that, but as you pointed out earlier, we don't have a building inspector, we don't intend to have a building inspector.
Right.
I'm trying to understand, like, what truly are they saying we have to do? Like, what are the things that we have to do?
So
Because that's, to me, it's like, they may say, hey, you gotta do it. I'm also perfectly okay telling them a little bit of, okay, we don't have that type of department.
Yeah, but it's not from a building inspector, it would be, that's from like health.
Okay.
So it would fall on like the health department, which, again, it's, basically, that's what it is, it's health, it's public health. At the end of the day, that's what they're after.
So
This is
basically
from a
now-
rental
Well,
perspective.
Hold on, before we go down that rabbit
Yeah, yeah.
hole, Joanne had some other,
Oh, yeah,
which
sorry.
may get into
right,
some of
so I pulled, so it came to me, I guess, from a question that John had
Yeah,
here in regards to why we added this to the zoning amendment. We added J, any renovations or ordinary repairs to structures built prior to 1978 and so forth. Again, this was something we weren't capturing. We had no idea what the age of different structures were. Now, my house was built in 1880. If
Yeah.
I decide to scrape my house and repaint it, there are certain steps we're required to do. EPA can come down, Mike would get contacted to say, hey, it's been brought to our attention, this house isn't properly mitigating the lead dust and it's going into the soil, or they're close to the river, or there's kids near a playground, all of that. So it's a mechanism for us to be able to start capturing that and treat it. It says renovation rules are stricter for pre-1978 buildings. Any work that disturbs paint, sanding, demolition, window replacement triggers federal requirements. The EPA contractors are supposed to be lead safe certified and special containments and all of that. So it's more, the way we're looking at it is it's more of educating and communicating to the public that if you own a structure that predates 1978, there may be certain things you're required to do or you should be doing. The contractor doing the work is supposed to follow certain things. Now, are we gonna follow up and police behind them? No, but we have a responsibility to educate them, to say, hey, you as a homeowner, Joanne Bailey, if you're gonna scrape or renovate your kitchen, more than likely your kitchen was put in before 1978. These are the things that you should be aware of. And so that's why we,
so I guess what I'm getting at is, so we're collecting so it's twofold. First one is all right, we know enough about the inventory that's in Bristol. How many of our buildings are actually pre-1978? Because I would say to you, a significant percentage is there,
Are there, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Probably north of 75% is sort of my guess.
Didn't I do
There's like 58, I think.
58%?
Okay.
It's like 58%.
I think we did.
And then, so because we're collecting, because basically what we're saying is, if, the way that the amendment was written, if your building is pre-78, you need to come pull a permit.
Not necessarily.
No.
Not
Okay.
necessarily, it's just, it's to get them in here, what's the project, and then again, then we educate. It's not necessarily means that they have to get a permit, but it gets them in here. And depending on what it is, like, from a homeowner standpoint, if you own your home, you can do whatever. If it's a rental, then you have to follow the RRP, you have to do these things.
Mhm.
And if it's a new rental, then you have to get a lead safe certificate at the end of it.
And in the zoning ordinance, under that section, it does say J, any renovations or ordinary repairs to structures prior may require. And then it goes on to say, ordinary repairs to structures that were constructed after 1978 may be made without a certificate of zoning compliance. But again, it's, as Mike just said, it's to get people in here or to call to say, do I need to do this? Because if we don't have it,
Then
What's-
then-
what-
Dude,
What's gonna require
I get it,
people
but listen, I don't wanna monopolize this, but like, here are my own personal, like, this is John speaking. I don't want anybody feeling like they gotta come ask our permission to maintain their homes. Now, that doesn't mean we don't need to follow whatever's the applicable laws are, right? Okay, so,
Right.
so there's, right, so I'm not saying we don't follow the laws. What I'm saying is if Bristol doesn't have a building department, we don't intend to create a building department, doing things that the feds or the state is supposed to be the ones, the enforcement, so like the state building inspector, we need to basically put them on notice to go, okay, you have responsibilities in this regard, right? So
and they're
I
not
guess-
going to.
Congratulations,
back,
but like,
but, yeah.
there's a whole lot of reasons
Yeah.
why we end up in these circular conversations, because we assume that they're not going to take on their responsibility, because it's, at the end of the day, if they're the building department, and they have to make sure that my house is safe, and they're the ones that can come down and say, you didn't build to code, I just don't want us in a
Right.
position where we're now, all of a sudden, because 58%? 58% of the properties here are before 1978, we now have tasks and things we have to do that we're not intending to do. So that's exactly what I'm coming
Yeah,
from. Sorry.
Christine.
So, the problem is, the planning board put this on the warrant article, it's passed and it's part of your zoning ordinance.
Right.
So for us to say we're not enforcing it, or
Nope.
we're not gonna do whatever the education plan is, that's not right either. They chose to put this on a warrant article, we just have to decide how far you're enforcing it, one,
Right.
and two, if there's a fee related to it, right?
But it goes somewhat, I think, to what you were saying earlier, like the concern about taking on rentals and taking on some of this stuff goes to what's the workload.
Right.
So if we're inappropriately taking on a workload that is somebody else's responsibility because we don't have that department, that puts us in a bad spot.
I-
right?
But it's not a code issue, it's a health issue. The lead falls under health.
Yep.
So we have a health department. So from that standpoint, if there is a violation, then it's gonna be, we
And
we have an obligation in public health.
And to Christina's point, we have a duly warranted article, a warrant article that was passed
Yeah.
by, right.
But then it means
This
if
is
there's,
not really bad, what I'm gonna say, but we should have been talking about this at their public hearing.
I know.
And before it hit the warrant, and now
Yeah.
it's hit the warrant, we're talking about it after, trying to decide what we're gonna do.
Right.
Right. but-
just to speak,
No,
I'm not
just-
trying to say that, I'm not trying to decide what we're gonna do, but like, right now, we have something that says they can pay for a permit. And when I read through it, right,
No,
like,
it
so
doesn't
that,
say
I know
they
this is
have
May,
to pay.
right, yeah, right, but so like, the May side of it is, if we have a personal opinion again, if we have a task, then we need to charge a fee to basically make sure we're covering the things that we gotta do. I just, I don't wanna feel like we're in a position where we're saying on one hand, we don't wanna have a building inspector and a building department. And then we've got this other way where we're going, hey, now we can hit 58% of our properties with a fee because you need to get a permit, but we don't do anything for it. Again, if
Right,
we're doing
and-
something for it, I want, like, I'm not saying I don't wanna have fees, I'm saying I wanna make sure that it lines up. We have something we gotta do, and
So.
we're the responsible party.
And I don't know if I'm going to articulate this correctly, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. So, Joanne Bailey, I wanna do a project. I look at the zoning ordinance, or I look at the COC application, and it tells me, okay, any renovations or ordinary prior may require a COC. I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna start filling it out. Mike's gonna get involved, and Mike's gonna go, oh, your house is pre-1978?
78.
Yep, it's 1880. Okay, what are you doing? I'm gonna have my house scraped and painted and everything. Okay, he's the health officer now. He's gonna say, okay, are you aware there's health concerns with that? There are certain steps as a homeowner you have to do. We're not following up with them as an enforcement perspective after. We're just saying, you know, because pre-78, there's also pre-80, there's asbestos issues, there's other issues too that we
Yep.
need to make sure are being mitigated. So it's just an awareness for him to be able to educate that applicant. It may not require a fee, you know, what I'm doing, it might not even require a COC, but it initiates that conversation,
Okay,
so.
all right.
So we'll let you know how it goes. If it's creating a burden, we'll certainly come back to the planning board and go, you know what, we added something that we really didn't need to, but I don't really think it is. Otherwise, I would have been a lot louder during the planning board
Right.
sessions and saying, you know, hey, it's not an issue, why are we creating an issue? So,
Again, for both you and Mike, seriously, thank you.
absolutely.
I know that I cause a lot of stir when I start some of these questions.
I take Tums before I come in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, listen, that's better. Most people take Pepto-Bismol, so that's good, that's a downgrade.
I take the Chewy.
Yeah, I mean, look, at
Yes.
the end of the day, I just believe accountability swings both ways. And the way
Absolutely.
that we need to hold people accountable to things, they get to hold us accountable to sort of how this stuff flows. I believe the same thing as it comes from all of these entities that want to just say, hey, guess what? You now need to do this because we said so.
Yeah.
I kind of go, wait a minute, hold on a minute. Right?
Well-
Like who's the responsible party?
You are now, what, are you a risk?
Oh,
No,
yeah, I am a lead inspector and an assessor technically, but.
he went
I
through
mean,
the
we won't-
weeks-long
that-
training.
Right, yeah.
but-
More for education than to do it, because again, the cost to the town is, it's not.
I can tell you anecdotally, I know that, you know, in talking with
Hmm?
contractors, they're acutely aware of this.
Yeah.
And some will say, oh, I don't work on old houses.
Yeah, because I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
You know, they're just not, you know, so there are definitely, the information is out there. Now,
Well,
there's
there's-
always gonna be someone who's gonna do it anyways, but,
Well, right here, this booklet, it's the law. You
Yeah.
know, anybody that's disturbing anything, a contractor that's gonna work on it is supposed to provide this to the homeowner. You know, there's certain due diligence on behalf of the person
All right.
doing the work.
Awesome, thank you.
Scott?
Hopefully, a quick question. I probably should know this. Are we requiring that they get their lead permit, their federal permit, or is it a state permit, to do the lead work for like a New Brunswick property? Are we requiring that as far as our zoning compliance permit or certificate?
So, no, they have to, at the end, when they're ready to rent, they have to get anything,
Predating.
right, so anything after July 1st, 2024. If, say, I decide, oh, you know what, I'm gonna rent my house now, and it's built pre-1978, then I have to get a lead safe certificate before I can rent it. And that's kind of where that came in also, is where if we have them coming in for the COC, then that would be something, yes, that I would require to have on file. And then just from a state standpoint.
Okay, you
Right.
require to have.
We're right, we would
Before they can.
require them to have.
That's what I was.
And for example, we
Yeah.
have, I mean, we have more than just this one example, but we had an example where a property owner came in, I think to planning board, they had to do an amended site plan because they were adding another rental unit into a barn. So they were increasing their apartment size. Now, their house was a 5-unit house, it was predate, but for that 1 unit, they would need that.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
All right.
anything else for Mike? I mean, he can leave for the.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Do you,
But,
I'm sorry, do you have anything else to add under your updates?
yes,
Like your department?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't want.
no.
Have a good
So,
night.
but Mike's portion is, he doesn't need to, I mean, you're willing to stay
Well, I'm good.
Mike's like, it's beer 30.
That's right, yeah.
and critique me in the morning.
Yeah, all right. Have a
Um,
good night, gentlemen.
Thank you.
just to run down some updates, to the board. Obviously, Mike and I, are part of we're the enforcement team. We drive around in the Ford Explorer. And, you know, when things are brought to our attention, or we're on a routine basis now where we're going different parts of the town and just checking things out. I will give the board an update, feather flags in front of B-Hop. Hopefully they're no longer there.
They were there today.
They were there earlier. Hopefully I spoke to her, what time did, I
2
spoke
o'clock maybe?
I spoke to her, I think about 3.
Okay.
So she said she was gonna remove them, but we sent a letter to the property owner that went unanswered. And then I've been trying to reach B-Hop, the manager wasn't there. I finally got in touch with her. So those things are addressed. Obviously you guys know about the reval abate. We received about 14 abatement applications. Those have been turned over to the assessor to review based on her review and recommendations that will be coming back to you guys to look at.
Only 14?
Yeah, I'm surprised at that low number.
Yeah.
Good.
All the pickups, there have been a couple given after that we've been told, I'm sorry, we can't accept it, you know. All the pickups have been completed by the assessing company. All the data entry is being finalized. Yeah, I know they were out. We got the list of properties and I'm like, oh God, they're gonna think we're,
I knew it was coming.
But, so that's taken place. One thing we recently learned with the zoning ordinance updates on an annual basis in the past for years and years, we've always been submitting them to Grafton County Registry to be recorded, and we're charged, you know, for the first page and then a lower charge for every subsequent page. We don't have to do that, so we're saving about $500 not to have it recorded. We still do send it to the OPD, Office of Planning and Development, so they have it on record. Obviously, Cheryl keeps an original copy. We have an original copy. It's posted online. People can see it, so.
So that's kind of curious. Why? I didn't know we actually did that to begin with, to be perfectly
We
honest.
don't know
But
why
like,
they changed.
but what made us begin to do it, and why did we?
Well, we reached out to NHMA, to legal, and just to say, is this a required step? You know, because it's a process.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, why are you doing that kind of thing?
And the registry never said, hey,
No.
what are you doing? Okay,
No.
good.
No, they're
So-
gonna take
No,
it.
they took the $500.
All right.
They took the $500 and said, thank you.
See what
All
else we
right,
can say.
giddy up.
Mapping updates, I think you'll have the agreements to sign from CAI. Once those they'll get signed. We'll start to see some activity with our new mapping layers, which is gonna be exciting.
That was exciting.
Another thing I've done with, we tried it with the planning board. Scott participated in it. We did a little training last workshop meeting. It was a Jeopardy game.
It
was pretty
really
good.
It was good.
We actually had the Jeopardy board, and so we're starting to do that with the different boards and commissions.
So who is Scott Severn?
Yeah,
I didn't make the.
yeah, so,
For 100.
For 100, there you go, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
if you've stopped into the land use office in the front lobby, you'll see a TV there. It's not for us to stay on top of Judge Judy or anything. We actually have on a loop, vintage pictures of Bristol, but we had it installed so that we can cast to it when people come in and want to see their map and their property cards. We actually
Oh, that's a good idea.
cast to it, so that's a kind of a cool upgrade. The last thing I have are credits or exemptions, charitable exemptions. You'll be getting that list from,
It didn't come yet, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't give it to them yet.
oh, okay. So, on an annual basis, organizations that feel that they're eligible or are eligible for either charitable, educational, or religious exemptions are required to fill out certain forms, an A9 and an A12. There's a couple that have fallen off. Well, one is a brand new fall off, Upward Bound Youth Development.
Bristol Hill,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That is now
They will no
off.
longer be receiving the exemption. It's been removed from all 3 tax cards. Midstate has filed their paperwork, but a portion of Midstate is an interior room in Midstate is going to be a pharmacy, for-profit pharmacy. So we've carved out that square footage, and they will get a tax bill on that interior square footage. You look like you want to ask something.
Yeah, so when we talked about this last, in particular to Midstate, I think it was Plymouth that Midstate took them to court because Plymouth tried to help figure out, because it's not like it's not like 100% of the Midstate constituents that go to Midstate are in that scenario of, because they are for profit, right? Like at the end of the day, but they have a certain percentage of their patients that in that category. But I don't think anybody's been able to figure out sort of what that right percentage is, right? Is that
No,
correct?
this isn't that though.
Oh,
That-
this, okay.
They were taking, so Midstate, Plymouth tried to charge them fully for their taxes. They didn't give a percent.
Oh, yeah.
And then it is difficult to determine what that percent would be out of that. This is different, this is another business going into Midstate
Yeah.
that is in charitable.
Yeah, it's general pharmacy, they're going
Right.
ahead.
Genoa, yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, the other, should I be talking about the, or no?
We might want to wait and let them start. It's
Okay.
up to the
Yeah.
chair.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
So Joanne's gonna stay for the next item as
Good.
well, but.
Yep, which leads us into the Masonic Lodge application for reconsideration in, not the right words, but,
Yeah, and this is the night for me to recuse
Yep.
myself.
Nope, perfectly
And
fine.
since I may want to speak,
I was
I'm
gonna say,
actually,
yep, do you
I'm
wanna,
actually gonna go in there.
do you wanna sit on the hot seat, or?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
come on.
All right,
I brought my lawn dart and
So-
everything.
And Mr. Chair, can you just remind people to identify themselves?
Yep.
Okay.
let me bring back up the exemption.
There are 3 documents in your folders, under number
5.
5.
Yep.
Don't worry, my colleague here is going to be handing out, so you can all follow along with me.
I think we've all,
But we have that in their folders already.
yeah,
Okay.
we've got it all
Probably
digitally.
not the whole
but-
document though, that's much thicker.
But yeah, good for the record, thank
Yeah,
you.
What you sent me, they have, so.
I work for the federal government, so I
appreciate your use of paper.
Yes.
There goes another tree right there, for sure.
We'll grow another.
No, I've
There
been
you
in
go.
meetings like this, and you see people like, I didn't get the file, I can't open the file. It's like, here it is.
Right. So welcome. Just for public knowledge, the Mason property had come up on the list of items that we were reviewing in 2024 for tax exempt status for the coming year of 2025. We didn't have documentation at the time, and we did not include it, or we did not approve it as a nonprofit in terms of property taxes to the town of Bristol.
There was also a court case that the assessor recommended that we do not give them the exemption based off of the court case.
Based off the court case and based off of the information that we didn't have.
Right.
So we're back reviewing those letters, those organizations, and we actually have the letter in front of us from the Union Lodge Masonic Association with the required and asked for documentation. At least that's my understanding of it. But I will give you the floor to fill in any blanks.
Yes, so thank you. So if you read the cover sheet here, well, first off, my name is Ron Alfonso. I'm the author of this, and I represent Union Lodge Masonic Association. So that association operates 61 Pleasant Street. Everyone knows the building. Mm-hmm. And this group, we are 501c2. And we represent, and we are filled with, all of our board members are from our 4 different organizations: Union Lodge 79, Sauhegannet Chapter of the Order of Eastern Star, Cardigan Lodge number 30, which is the Oddfellows, and the Enterprise Rebecca Lodge 46, which is Rebecca's. So all 4 organizations make up ULMA, Union Lodge Masonic Association. And the members are all volunteers. We all have 9 to 5s, so we're all retired. And not one piece of that building is for profit. So all these organizations, whatever money comes in, goes straight back out to the community. For the association, any money that comes in goes straight to operating costs, oil, for heat, electric, internet, things like that. So I have a whole list, as you can see on page 2, of what we do for the community. So we give money, we do the free breakfast, the breakfast with Santa. So if you've been in the town long enough, you've done something over at the Masonic Lodge, even on Halloween. And one of the big things we provide, which we don't really have anything to do with, it's our property that does it for us, is our parking lot. So we are private property, and our parking lot is utilized by the tenants of certain homes around their apartments, as well as the library and the post office as well. So it's like almost like a public parking lot. And on the winter months, like this winter, it's overflow for all that extra snow. So our building does provide that free of charge to all the taxpayers. So the reason why I'm here tonight is back in October, we received a first tax bill of $0, which we thought was absolutely fine. For the past number of years, we've been tax exempt. We're tax exempt, and we figured nothing of it. Then in December 23rd, we received a first tax bill of $9,079.08, due on February 4th. Now, we were able to scrape that money together and pay it. However, it created a significant financial hardship on all 4 organizations because, as I stated, it's all volunteer, and every dime that comes in goes straight to bills or straight back to the community. So that was a very significant financial hit on all of us.
Would that have been a full year?
Full year, yeah.
Oh, that would be the full year?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I'm here tonight is to talk about that year and possibly maybe getting that money back, because we do provide significant public service, including that parking lot. And moving forward, so fiscal year 27, fiscal year 28. So I did provide in this package an abatement package, was it A12, A9, pursuant to RSA 72, 23, and 70, chapter or section 5. But we wanted to discuss with the board here, about getting the money back for 2026 and what should we do moving forward for 27. We have a couple of ideas, options, but we want to hear from you all first.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Joanne might be able to answer going forward in 2027, there's a statute that just changed for 2027.
Well, in researching this, and again, I reached out to the assessor, and I did provide 2 links to Christina on the court cases. The town of Ossipee and the town of,
I missed sharing those, sorry.
the town of Ossipee and the town of Alton were found to, they had been granting the Masonic Lodge the charitable exemption, and they were found to be,
Sorry, I read this wrong, but keep
oh,
going.
they were found, it was done in error, they said, and it was actually, taxpayers brought agreements to the town saying
Interesting.
that, now their exemption is being spread across other taxpayers. So BTLA required those 2 towns to basically do another reassessment of the town. So it was significant. There was a House bill.
Which I read wrong, sorry, but Joanne can explain it.
Yeah, so there was a House bill that has, and I'm learning these terms, inexpedient
Inexpedient to legislate.
Inexpedient legislate.
Which means.
That's where bills go to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When they,
well, this bill died,
when they won't vote no,
where
but
they
they won't vote
wanted,
yes.
it
Yeah.
said, this bill was House Bill 1324, an act exempting the land and building of Masonic lodges and associations from property taxations. It was killed.
Yep, I read that wrong, sorry.
So, and it referenced under section 7223, C and H, where it said originally, organizations that are specifically listed are allowed this exemption, and Masonic lodges is not listed.
Mr. Chair,
Yep,
can I just add on to that?
absolutely.
Don Milgren.
Thank you.
And you probably remember too, since you've been on board with the history, mine's even longer, that like Ossipee, Bristol has done the same and given an exemption. I'm not sure what those towns had for an agreement, but it's always been the agreement with the usage of the parking lot and also emergency need for meetings, et cetera, like that, the building itself. So that was the agreement traditionally in Bristol, and because of those 4 cases and the additional the actual paperwork is now being required.
Right.
We got caught up in this situation now because
There was no, right.
yeah, I had thought that there was an MOU created back on, when Michael Capone was town administrator.
Yeah.
Have not been able to find any record of it.
There is some records, and it's in this package from June 2005, where Union Lodge Masonic Association versus Town of Bristol. There's a BTLA docket number in here. An agreement came. Between Town of Bristol withdrew its denial of the exemption status. So it granted us exemption status, and then then ULMA pulled their appeals from the Superior Court, from County Superior Court. So,
I
Yeah.
understand that, but it doesn't specifically.
but doesn't it? No, there is.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any MOU, but that's been the discussion for all these years, and that's why I figured early in 2020, well, I should say late in 2025, October-ish, when we got the first bill, it says 0. Okay, well, status quo. And then all of a sudden, we got that $9,000 bill.
Yeah,
Did it come in October?
No,
Were we
we've been-
late?
we've been July.
July.
Yeah, yeah.
if possibly.
Sorry, not nitpicking, yeah.
I'm new to this position. That was
No,
before me.
that's fine, yeah,
Yeah, possibly moving forward with that portion.
Yeah.
Consider,
yeah.
you might consider an MOU.
Yeah, so, and I remember when we discussed this on the board, and unfortunately Don wasn't there to provide some of the background.
Yeah, when I was not on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not on the board, or you would not?
That was probably a year that I was.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
I know, I think you might not have been here.
You haven't,
I think you were not here. Yeah.
Oh, for that night. I'm
for
sorry.
that evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
Because you
meant some of
came-
the past.
I think it was a couple meetings later, it came up, and you had
Right.
said that you wished you'd been here when they made that decision.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So, not throwing anything on you, but
No,
it's
no
just,
Catch.
so yeah, so what we had as a board, what we had was a situation where we had, and I think we had we asked for information?
So I can just say from a process perspective, I have followed Christina's footsteps. I send out a letter.
Yeah,
Les can attest, I think she receives one too. But I send out a letter with the 2 forms based on their type of exemption.
Yeah.
So the Masonic Lodge, I think I sent it to Mr. Baden.
I did not receive it.
So,
Okay,
but yes, I send out the A9s and the A12s,
Yeah.
and indicate the dates that both are received. Charitable require both, religious only require the A9.
And
So
one's
that's
due in
not an
April.
abatement form.
yeah,
So one's due in April, one's due in June.
Yeah.
right, so as a board, what we were looking at is our understanding of a letter that had gone out, had not received any backing information. We made the decision based on that it didn't meet the requirements because it didn't have the paperwork. Subsequently, I know Don worked on getting all that stuff together, and we have it. And what would be the process? Would we just vote on whether
Whether you're gonna continue the exemption or not,
yeah,
so,
Well, doesn't that sound like it's actually several things? Probably first one is.
well, I think the first one is whether we're going to continue and.
Correct, yeah, and then. if-
And then there is an abatement process, although I don't know time-wise, but it's only, yeah, so there'd be an abatement process,
Right.
which we would then review separately.
Consider. But
Yeah,
I just want this gentleman to understand that I think you thought you filed an abatement for that. The A9 and the A12s are not abatement applications.
Okay.
So,
Well, do you have a business card later so you can fill me in, or can you tell me now? Which forms it is?
A9 and the
oh,
A12.
no. we
No,
couldn't
you
And
get
then
it.
there's the,
If it-
oh,
The
yeah,
question would be, we can accept an abatement at this point.
right.
However, I don't know if you're, in the original letter you sent, I don't know if it's clear enough that that's what you're asking for, we can use the letter. But I'd have to read through and see exactly what you're asking in the letter.
And
you
I
sent.
can provide an updated letter as well saying, you know,
We can't accept it.
Oh, you can't, okay.
Right.
yeah,
It's very time sensitive.
okay.
It's statutory. So, but there may be enough in this that says that's what they were asking for, so we can read through the original letter, as long as it says that, we can treat it
It might
as-
also be
Yeah.
something that could be addressed moving forward in an MOA, MOU,
Yeah.
where it could be made. I guess we'd have to run it through legal or something, but made whole over time or something.
Yeah.
yeah, we're just really looking for, you know, now this fiscal year,
Yeah.
trying to get that money back, and then moving forward, you know, if it's a wrong form, you want a different form, just
Yeah.
tell me. And
Well, the thing
I'll
that
do it.
the thing that we can address tonight is moving forward.
Okay.
The other issue, I think, is a little more complex because of the timeline is statutory. It's not that we can just say, okay, yeah, bring us the application for abatement. because that wouldn't follow the state law on the timeframe, but I'm thinking there's a way that we can deal with that.
And we do have other options too, which we could do, because as stated, you know, it was a financial blow to
Absolutely,
all of
no, I
us.
get it. What I would say is I think we're more than willing to work with you to the extent that we're able to. I think. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. And that's why I said I think that can be addressed in the MOU. Because we should have one on file.
Should.
Yeah,
I'm gonna search at least of the files I can access to, and we don't have anything, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it wasn't purged at some point, but.
right.
And we would be amenable to go in with the MOU for the parking lot, no tax,
Yeah.
agreement. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'd be okay with that. And you already have my information, so feel free to
Yeah.
email me and call me.
Okay, so at this point, I guess I would accept a motion to approve the tax exempt status.
Do you want to do
If
any
someone
more
is
discussion
in-
around it before you?
Oh, yeah, no, but you got a
I
motion
need
at
a
that.
motion, yeah.
All right,
Before you speak.
Yeah.
okay, go, you wanna make the motion, let's go.
Let's see.
But all it has to be is a motion to,
Accept the.
accept the Masonic tax exempt status.
Right.
All right,
We might be,
Go ahead.
sorry to interrupt, we might be able to use this because it does say regarding Union Lodge Masonic Association tax abatement application. But inside the letter, it doesn't talk about it, but it does say, at least in the title, we can talk to the assessor and just make sure.
Okay. Okay. All right, so, motion by Scott,
yeah, I'll second it, it's fine.
second by John,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
discussion?
All right, so I guess I really want to try to make sure I understand this. Because when we, and you weren't here that night, Dawn, I don't believe, but when we kind of went through this, number one, I think we were challenged with, okay, we didn't have the documentation to understand the status. And then two, as much as I appreciate what you're saying about the parking lot, it seems to me when we think about the town of Bristol at the moment, we're saying sometimes the library folks use the parking lot.
We have a
and-
sign up.
What's that?
So we've installed a sign in the parking lot that says it's open to the public until 6, right?
Okay,
Something
all
like
right,
that.
very cool. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm, because at the end of the day, if we decide to say we are allowing them to have the distinction, then we are distributing the $10,000 roughly, or $9,000, whatever it is. We're distributing that against the rest of the town, right? Like, so it's the same reason why I was asking the question earlier about mid-state. Like I want to appropriately recognize when we have charitable things going on and not just distribute it because it's expedient to do it a certain way, right? Okay, so we have signs that we put up. So so for us, it's really the parking lot, and I know you guys do a bunch of other things like the breakfast and things that you are open to the public are on, right?
Yeah.
So we also, sorry, I was asking John,
Yeah.
we plow as well.
Yeah,
And then there's something that
Snow
the state.
storage.
we
Yeah,
call-
it's
yeah,
also
snow storage.
snow storage for when they're
Yeah,
clearing downtown.
Okay,
yeah,
so we plow, there's snow storage, we have a sign that allows them daytime parking.
okay.
There's something with the state and there's a drain that runs through your property as well, but I can't
There's a
remember.
drain every way through
Yeah,
it.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
That would
Those are
affect
the
the
only
value of
ones
the
I can
property, not
remember.
so much the charitable
Yeah.
status of it, really, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Plus, the building is available for meeting space. There's been several times the planning board in the past has met there when for the old building, they couldn't
Okay.
fit everybody
In the last page, and you referenced it earlier, of the 2006 letter, I'm kind of curious if we know, is it still the state of New Hampshire where, as it said in the bottom in the last paragraph, 80% of lodges are not given tax exempt status in New Hampshire? Is that still the case? I guess I'm trying to, like for us, I can see a lot of reasons why it would be a good thing, okay? So I'm not arguing that point, but at the same time, if 80% of the communities are in a position where they're not granting that status, does that make us more of an outlier or something that's aligned?
As far as if the 2006 stats are still current, I would say I do not know. So this was part of that court case back in initiated in 2005. So
Yeah.
that was just part of that docket. As far as current numbers and how many, I can get that information to you all, but I don't.
Just
have
for
it
me
available.
personally, I find that interesting, right? Because if we're on the, let's just say it was 50-50 and we were on the side of, okay, yes, granted,
Yeah.
then I'm probably more okay with it. If it's 80% still is not, then I'm probably leaning the other way, to be candid.
Yep.
Mr.
Yep.
Yeah.
To answer that question, it depends on the town and the Masonic building.
Yeah.
For instance, there's many that aren't in a position where it's advantageous that the parking would help the public or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or there's no particular reason where the building is more than just used by the Masonic associations.
That's true too.
Bristol is unique in the spot where the building and the parking lot are available and utilized by the town. Portsmouth is similar to that. They have a large parking area. Then there's also, on the other side of the gamut, there's buildings like the one in Nashua where it's a very large building downtown. And their first floor, they rent out to retail space. And then going back to the mid-state where a portion of it is now retail space, they pay taxes through the rental fees. So it depends on the situation of the building in the town.
Okay.
And since 2006, we've had many lodges in the state or closed down, so those numbers are probably different for today's
Right.
standards.
Some consolidation.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Any
Mr. Chair?
other? Yep.
The only thing that I would ask is, I think we should probably make sure we run this by the town's attorney, because I don't want us to put ourselves in a position where we said we're gonna do this exemption and then find out we shouldn't have done it. Not saying that I have that opinion either way, but I just don't want us to get into that spot where we're doing something we shouldn't be doing, so. What I'm reading here, it's not clear, but it said the MOU doesn't matter in an exemption.
Right.
But-
However,
Yeah,
MOU aside,
yeah,
which can be an entirely different matter. MOU aside, I guess what I'm looking at is, we didn't have information that would base us to make a decision that they qualified. But now we do have that information going forward.
you do, but the assessor is still recommending to deny it.
That letter was from '24.
She sent it again and followed
Right.
up and said her opinion is not changed with the
Okay.
information that was shared. So, I'm not saying to deny it, I'm not saying to approve it, I'm just saying I think we should just make sure that we have the ability to do that by the statute.
And
Okay, so anything done or not done tonight isn't going to affect the next billing, which doesn't come out until June, correct?
May, June, but we should be able to get an answer by April 16th.
And we have to, would we have, by what?
By April 16th, your next meeting, which would give them,
And don't we have to have the answer by April 15th?
no, May 15th.
May 15th,
May 15th
okay.
is when
So
your
it's not the
billings are-
same as like,
yeah.
Right, in this packet, I have the necessary forms.
Yes.
Okay.
So should you, but I did email Christina 2 links of recent court
Yeah.
cases that might be helpful.
And the attorney may come back and give us examples that say, this is when you can qualify them under that, and
Right.
they find that that
Yeah.
is what they're doing. I just want to make sure that we're not just, I think that's a great thing, we are working with them, we're using the parking lot. I just don't want to put us in a position where someone else could come back and say to us, you should.
okay.
So we should probably just,
You want to
Motion to
withdraw
table.
your motion?
or should we just table it?
We can table it.
And
Make a
just,
motion to table the,
I'll definitely second that, because I'm thinking the same thing.
All right, and we will have an answer for you by the end of our next meeting
Yep.
in 2 weeks.
And I don't know whether the assessor knows this or not, but I think it would be interesting to understand the updated status of how
How many?
lodges are, roughly in New Hampshire, right? It doesn't have to be a perfect number, but like, how are most towns treating the lodges?
I did try to search and there's no number
Yeah.
that I could find.
Yeah.
It's different for every lodge.
Right,
as,
right,
uh,
So-
I get it.
Hold on. All right, so we have a motion to table it.
Yeah.
I think that's non,
Well, you want to say, maybe you shouldn't say
Proceed.
table. Maybe you should say motion to continue to April 16th. Because doesn't table mean
yeah,
it's done?
you'd have to take it off the
Take
table.
it off the
Yeah.
table. Yeah, so
But,
either way.
okay, motion to continue until the next
April
meeting.
16th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure. Yes, exactly.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
What I would suggest is, it would be good to know what documents some other towns have
Yes.
that those towns are approved as the nonprofit status, right? So cross-reference what you have here with what, I don't know, Franklin, I don't know how Franklin does it, or,
Franklin closed their
oh,
lodge.
okay, that building
Yeah,
is, yeah,
Yeah, Franklin
Yeah.
did get tax exempt, because I was talking to the
yeah,
master down there, and they did have it, but they didn't have a building association, because through the city of Franklin, they wouldn't allow it, because a building association can't be charitable, even though everybody in the building is. So that's
oh, yeah, I don't know what the difference on that one was, but,
I'll ask him for examples.
Yeah.
When I talk to
Yeah.
Sean as well, so.
all right,
Well, thank you. I mean, so you won't see me in 2 weeks because I'll be on traveling for my normal job.
good.
But my colleague here will be representing me.
Don't
I'll be here too.
You'll be well represented.
But yeah, this is essentially kind of the options we're looking at. Either filing the correct paperwork and just being approved by the town, or an option for a MOU
Yeah.
with the parking lot. But then all else fails, we have to generate that 9,000 a year. So, and it is a private lot, so maybe start charging for parking. But that doesn't help anyone.
Right,
So,
right,
so thank you all so much for your time.
all right.
Well, we'll be in touch. I will gather as much well, the three of us will gather as much information we can for.
I think just so you know, I think we all want to get to the right decision.
Correct.
We have to dot our i's and cross our t's like you do.
Of course.
Yeah. All right.
So anything more for me?
No, sir, thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. I think you're off the hook now.
Join us, Don. Welcome back, Les.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the room.
I'm not sure if I missed it or not.
You need to sit at the microphone.
Who's code?
Don, super interesting when you go
Is that
into,
your
if you go into,
It is,
your
Okay, just checking.
co-pilot on.
Thank you. If I start to walk out without
Thing,
it,
they ask
then I-
Okay.
Masonic lodges and tax exempt status.
That's what I've been doing.
Super interesting, isn't it?
Where's the co-pilot?
Co-pilots, if you look under your apps.
I did try
Where's
to
the apps?
find it and I couldn't find it.
All right,
But there were a lot of.
let's give Les the attention that she
Yeah.
deserves.
Yeah.
So,
Well, then they can keep on doing what they do.
All right, so we're talking about TTCC and Town of Bristol partnership with Kelly Park, TTCC project.
So, as most of you are aware, we purchased 90 Lake Street, that was the former Kathleen's cottage. And our plan has been for 3 years to have a full-size gymnasium and additional program space. So, over the years, we've talked about the gym being the one thing we absolutely need, and hopefully a senior center component or different things like that. So everything's up in the air. We own the property finally, so we're abutting the park. We're really excited about that.
Yeah.
It's a perfect spot. It was painful. And right now they're using it for batting cages. So if you see a lot of activity there, it's the batting cages for baseball and softball, and that's why there are people in and out of the building.
So I went in
No, that's
there,
cool, you can use the building the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped in there the other day because I saw Chris there, and I was there for a half an hour there, like, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was-
they're
It was
loving it.
amazing, yeah. So we had some ideas too, so.
Oh, I'm sure. The baseball ideas are never ending. But anyway, it's great. It's
Yeah.
very exciting. We're thrilled to have the building. So, but now starts the real work towards coming up with the money. We've received 1.5 from Shaheen that we can start drawing down next week. We've received confirmation of 1 million from Goodlander. We have not seen the paperwork yet, but hopefully, we just applied for another 1 million from Shaheen. And then we know, once we get started, because Dan and I went over to the Newport Community Center, and that was brand new. And they had a lot of big donors for naming rights on rooms and things like that. So we're gonna go all in on figuring it out. We had a very generous donation to purchase the property, so that made a big difference. So we don't have to use our Shaheen funds to do that. So we've been talking to Lakes Region Planning, and they wanted to help us with the project. They've helped us with a couple other things, and they were interested in helping with this by doing, and I keep calling it a shred. I don't know that that's what they call it anymore, but it's like a planning and getting public feedback. And they were very interested in having us collaborate with the town of Bristol because of Kelly Park.
Yeah.
So have more of a master plan for our property as well as how that can benefit Kelly Park, which we would be all about anyway, because we use Kelly Park, and it's been a good relationship back and forth. So we had our first meeting with them, and we toured the property, we discussed the potential uses, and we gathered some feedback. They now want to do planning meetings. So the first one they're recommending, and this is, it's Glenn Terhune, I don't know.
I never say his name.
Yeah. From Brown, he's with Lakes Region Planning, Tim Andrews is with Brownfields, and Mark Westa is EDR, he's a landscape environmental design and research with a company. And so they do this through their grant money, so it won't cost us anything for us to collaborate on it. And so they'd like to start with a meeting in June where we meet at the property, open to the public, to tour the property, and then we'll retire into one of the areas in there, and they'll talk about, okay, what does the community want to see in a building like this? Because we want to make sure we get plenty of feedback from the community so that we're supported. So far, we've had incredible support towards the project, but now we want to know, what does the community need the most for us to include in that building? So, and with Kelly Park. So then that would be an informational meeting that we would have with them. Then they'd want to meet a follow-up meeting in July, and they'd want, the town involved from the Kelly Park aspect as well as the center for our building piece. Then July, that would be July, and then they've talked about, we said, let's put an informational table, we'll be a lot further along at Old Home Day, so that we can get that feedback as well, show people where we're at, that we're working together on it. And then the final meeting would be in September with the select board and our board at the center to hear their results. So they will come up with some designing that we can use as we go out to the public. They won't do the final design. We met with one group of companies so far, and we're gonna go out to bid, of course, for design and the build. But, so this came to us through Lakes Region Planning as something that would be helpful. Reminds me of the charrette that we did for Kelly Park, where we all got together, bless you, at the old town hall. We got incredible feedback. We've implemented a lot of what that group came up with, and it just makes sense. One of the things that we're thinking from the Kelly Park, and nothing is written in stone until we have all the public hearings and discuss it. But one potential use would be in touring the Newport Center. They have a baseball field right there by their center, and they have built their kitchen in their building so that it serves from the park side, and then it serves for their gym side, which was really efficient. Dan and I were both impressed with that. And then the other piece that I've been thinking about with Kelly Park is if we had bathrooms at that end of the building as well, the bathrooms would be available as whenever the center is open, instead of what we have now where we can't leave them open all the time. So that would kind of be a win-win for all of us.
I dropped a couple pictures into the main folder.
I couldn't
The
find
mock-up-
anything.
Oh, no, I just dropped them in now, so you might have to refresh, but they're at the bottom of the list. It's like a mock-up, it's not a permanent design or
Right.
anything, but it's just a mock-up, a couple of them.
So we had a design done for the property, 171 North Main, when we were looking at that property. And what came of that was, it wasn't gonna be the parking, we wouldn't have enough parking there. So, and we really wanted to be on the park. So we have talked to Dead River, we've talked to everybody along that stretch to see if anybody was ready to move on, and this happened to come. Took a few years, but it happened to come together, so, that's kind of where we're at.
The second one won't let you open it, but you can see one of them. so.
Under what?
It's
Try
in
the main one
The
at the
main,
bottom,
go all the way to the bottom
the first one.
of the list, and there's it says center mock-up.
Or the top, that one of the two.
Oh, now you guys have upgraded to a snack tray?
Yeah.
Whatever, little bowls.
Entice you to come back
I
on
got out
the
at the
board.
wrong time.
Yeah, you want to get back on the board now, right?
See what the future brings.
Les, you'd said about preserving the old building, the original house. Hopefully that's still in the plans,
So everything is on the table.
of course.
When this group walked it, they were starting to get concerned about the setbacks, that if with the full-size gym and additional program space, whether keeping that building would infringe on using that setback area, that for an area of our building. As you know, I've said many times publicly that I'd be all for keeping it. Some of the board agrees with that. We do know that there's asbestos that has to be dealt with in that building. It's,
And lead paint, as we heard earlier, because
Yeah.
it's 1978.
Yeah.
we had it looked at for asbestos. We haven't had the lead paint. No, believe me, I know, we've just gone through this.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that is the hope, that we could preserve that building. But, as I've been told repeatedly, you can't put it out there that that's gonna happen until we have all of this feedback and see what's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, no guarantee, but at least the goal.
We would, I would love to see us, the
Let's
other
make sure we rephrase it right.
other thing that was thrown out was that if we can't keep that building, that we use those bricks for a walkway
Oh, okay.
in memory of the building, but I don't know, everything is, I have to leave everything on the table, plus I'm retiring at the
Yeah.
end of the year,
Well, we'll
so
see what,
my input is gonna go downhill from there.
yeah,
Don't blame me.
it'll be interesting to see what the planners can do, keeping that in mind.
I love the history of that building.
Yeah.
But, so we'll see, and it worked out really kind of nice because the company that we met with, he was all about historical buildings, so he was like, oh, this is amazing, this would be great to keep, and I'm like, yes, somebody in my corner, but
So, is there a timeline on taking down that building, or are you gonna keep it up until everything's finalized?
we'll keep it up at least through the summer, because we'll probably use it this summer,
Yeah.
parts of it, for one of the camps. And as baseball will probably continue to use it for
Yeah.
batting cage until then.
Softball.
But there'd be a lot of work. It is just mammoth in there. It just goes on and on and on. And right now, we're keeping the heat down very minimally. They have four Eversource accounts. So it's not cheap to keep the
Yeah.
building open.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so one other thing we pointed out that we noticed, and we didn't, maybe, I don't know if it was brought up on your side. Is it possible to, get the backside cleaned up, like along
Oh,
the park?
absolutely.
Is
Yeah.
that gonna happen immediately? Is there plans for that immediately? Because we
Um,
thought maybe, so we already started making arrangements, like bouncing ideas. And we're like,
This
No,
is a
so-
community project.
yes, no, it is. So it was, yeah, like volunteer driven, just to get that cleaned up immediately. And then
Absolutely.
that way there to be ready for this softball and baseball season. And that way there's access there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just
So
the,
there'd be
like
access.
the fence and the.
It appears there's already access. I've heard that the middle school, some of the middle school youth are using that as a hangout place, which I never thought would happen.
I heard
But
that
now
yesterday.
I'm gonna have to start riding over there and,
Yeah.
Some cameras.
yes,
Have you had
yes.
any discussion with O'Reilly's?
Mhm. There have been discussions with
Because
some,
there's a big piece in the back of that.
with some potential. Scott Doucette has had some conversations with them. There is the potential of maybe
Do a
them
bike
being willing to let us gain access back there as well. So that is definitely on the table to discuss.
I mean, you know, what I would say is you could do a boundary line adjustment with them and they could take a charitable donation
Yes.
of the property.
Well, and the other thing that I'm thinking on the town's benefit is, it appears that that property does go out into the roadway of Kelly Park, which we kind of went back and forth when we were told that, but it appears by the survey that it actually did.
Yeah.
I think this would be a great time to clean that lot line up so
Okay.
that the town has
Yeah.
all of that property and
Yeah, it looks like
while
it is.
we're all working really well together, we might as well get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So, yeah, definitely cleaning it up is gonna happen now that the snow's off the ground.
Yeah.
Um,
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
lots of exciting plans. The number one thing people have said they want is a pool.
Yeah.
And it's impossible. We've talked to the other rec departments that have just built centers, that was the same thing in their communities, and it's just not feasible to,
The expense.
Indoor
and-
pools are very nice, but tough.
yeah,
Yeah. it's
very
tough.
expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe a splash pad.
yeah.
Yeah, for the
It's been on your
summertime.
list forever.
Like out in the
Yeah.
summertime, the kids have a splash pad, right, somewhere to cool off and.
So they do
Right,
it
but-
where I grew up in Somersworth. They do have a splash pad now up at the Pines Park, which is their center. But we used to have a concrete pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sloped down from four sides, and they filled it every day with the coldest water imaginable, and then drained it. But yeah, it was all cement, like rough cement,
Oh, yeah.
like the sidewalk, how it's kind of washed texture.
Lots of abrasions.
Yeah,
The Newmarket put in a pretty decent sized splash pad.
Yeah.
And they have it open to anyone from anywhere can come.
yeah,
And they don't charge because of, if they charged, it
yeah.
opens them up to the liability. But what I learned was they have to test it every 4 hours. They have to do testing and chemicals.
Wow.
And so it changed everything
Yeah, that air
for them.
hole is-
So,
oh, I didn't think
like,
of
yeah,
that.
I'm not interested in doing something that
No.
big, but
Yeah.
But yes, so those were the things, I just wanted to kind of have us all in the loop on what's going on. I don't know a time frame. We're meeting next week as a board. We're gonna start talking about making some announcements about succession planning, and we'll be discussing what our timeline is on this as well. Especially now that the money's available to draw down.
All right.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. it is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
It's gonna be cool though.
It is. It'll be good. It'll be good.
Definitely gonna be cool.
sorry,
That's okay.
I'm daydreaming with the,
The lots.
yeah, the possibility of what you could
Oh,
gain.
you're really getting, he's drawing lines.
Well, and I keep going back to Walter Waring
Be another
at
quarter
budget
acre.
meetings
Yeah.
on how passionate he was about there's nothing for the seniors and how badly he
Yeah.
wanted it to be the fire station. And I remember sitting there thinking, I really can't say anything right now because we haven't purchased the property, but we believe that should happen as well. I mean, we have over 200 pickleball players registered.
Right.
Yeah, I've had a
So-
lot of people ask.
We need more court space.
Well, especially, I mean, there's obviously a lot of discussions about school consolidation, stuff like that, specifically because the population changes from a schooling perspective, right?
Right.
I mean, there's no doubt that there is more folks retiring here in town. Right, so, yeah, having some programming that way would really be helpful.
It would be great, it really would. And I've discussed it with Gail Shaw from Plymouth Senior Center, because they had the Bristol office, but it wasn't, they didn't really have a lot of programming space, they could
Yeah.
use the big room. So we're on the same page as to the potential for what we could do. The other big thing is daycare, of course. and We wouldn't wanna do it, but there might be an
Does
opportunity
it,
for
does
someone.
it open up, does it open up the option for an expansion of the summer camp? Or not?
Certainly does. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It would be,
Yeah.
it could be, because right now we're running 4 separate camps, and one's at Bristol Elementary. We'd move them out of Bristol Elementary, I would think, and move, well, definitely not, and then move them over to that property. I'm not sure that we would need a lot more space than that, because we have one at Slim Baker, one
Yeah.
at the center.
Yeah,
2 at Slim Baker, 1 at the center. So, yeah, it definitely will open up a lot of possibilities for us to be able to utilize that space with camp.
Do you guys still have an agreement, or do you have an agreement with the new SAU in Bridgewater to use their school? Is that still,
Yes,
you're still using
absolutely,
that?
yeah. Actually, Terry called when this was all happening and just said, you guys are good forever, no matter what happens, so.
Okay. It's good to know.
We have keys for that, and the schools have been amazing. I mean, we're in just about every school,
yeah.
so we've been lucky.
So we'll be looking for, did you have a date in June?
We didn't pick a date. We were
Okay.
just saying June would be a good start, so once our board meets, we can throw out
Yep.
some potential.
And we can.
It's
we
not
can
like
help.
there's nothing to do in June.
Right, I know, but we can help get the word out too. and-
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll make sure that we're all spreading the word, and,
yeah.
Yep.
Great.
yeah,
This
it'll
is
be good.
exciting, this is.
It is exciting.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, we're psyched.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Les.
Are
It's good seeing you.
Thank you. You know, I miss you guys.
Yeah.
You can come back anytime.
See you, kids.
If you want to cruise by the
I
snack
was gonna say,
trade,
you should
you
go
can.
buy snacks.
No, I just want
Feel free.
wine.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
See ya.
Project requirement discussion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I would like to let John spearhead this, but there is, so I'll tell you my part first. So,
You missed it. All Sean said was, as soon as you said that, he went, oh.
I could hear his eyes rolling.
So 7A, they're pretty much the same document, just one's fillable and one's not fillable. What John has been asking for since he started on the board, and since I keep refusing to do until the board votes on it, is a project requirements document that talks about specifications on projects. So I will let John explain that.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. We need to upgrade the video in this room, right? So for remote participation, all that other stuff, okay? And it's the same thing when you consider the public safety building when we did that one, okay? We put in 2 TVs, we put in a bunch of stuff. We spent, I think, 17 grand putting a bunch of stuff in over there, okay? I don't believe over there actually meets any of our requirements, but because we don't actually document our requirements, we don't all agree. Now, you guys know I do technology stuff all day. Okay, so like, we can go back and forth and make it a technology discussion, but I don't think that adds a lot of value. What adds value is, do we agree on the requirements? Because then, once we agree on the requirements, the solution starts to show what it is. Like, so I can either articulate to you guys that when you look at this video and audio in this particular room, I don't think it helps us when we have remote participation. I don't think it helps us address any of our constituents that don't live in town but maybe want to listen in or get involved in a meeting. That's why I think we need to upgrade this. So like, but in the same vein, I want us to agree that we all say, oh, you know what, that is something that we should spend time on and work on. Well, there's no good way for me to articulate that to you other than saying, hey, I want to have a technology discussion about why this tech is behind the times. That doesn't add any value. The value is, do we agree that this tech should be updated so that way we have better remote participation in meetings, and then we have a better way of recording and dealing with all that? Because like right now, we have a proposal that puts a second camera up over behind Don's head, so the second camera would capture that table. We have cameras, a device under the TV, and like, there's a bunch of ways for us to talk about it. But really, the real question is do we agree that we should update the video and audio in this room to have better participation in meetings? That's really the question. But unless we fill something out to kind of explain a project, there's no good way to agree on that.
So there's two things. You have to, as a group, if you could decide whether you want a form like this to be used, I will let you know that I met with the department heads yesterday, and there's a lot of concerns about adding another document for them to fill out. However, one of the biggest things that they would like is they really want some guidance on when and why it would have to be filled out. And some of the example I might have given them yesterday was a vehicle purchase. But concerns were, because if you set a dollar amount, they're going to be filling them out for salt and sand. And I said, well, we're going to have rules with this, because I don't think that salt and sand should be something that you have to justify spending money on. But that's what I'm asking this group to decide. If they all feel we should be doing this form, you all feel, not they all, you all feel that we should be doing a form like this and what types of circumstances.
And honestly, the form can be simpler. I mean, literally it was, we went into AI and said, hey, give me a form that does these things and tells me this stuff. And then we actually took the quote from the video unit and fed it also in and said, hey, fill out the form for us.
I had to refeed it today. For some reason, it didn't save it for me.
Yeah.
But, so they're also under number 7. There is the meeting room sound improvements quote. That cost is still under negotiation. But we encumbered $22,000 from last year to be able to do this project. So, and then there's also what John just explained was I did take the quote, dropped it into AI with the form and said, fill this in for me. And that's what it came up with. That's also in your folder. It would have to be this was just straight, I just dropped it in and printed it for your meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other thing is like, for me anyways, let's talk about capital purchase, let's talk about vehicles for a second, right? We know we want to replace a fire truck, right? We know we need to do orders at a certain time. I think there's always going to be questions around, okay, yeah, it might be in the plan that way, okay, and it's based on time, but I think usage is another thing altogether. Like how many calls does it need to go on, how many miles should it do, just whatever we think the appropriate justifications are for saying we need that asset. The technology stuff in particular, I feel particularly strongly that we should make sure we agree, and not because of a particular technology discussion, but more because sometimes you can end up in rabbit holes, and it leads into, oh, I want to have this software and I want to have this system and I want to go in that direction. And I think almost like the conversation we were having earlier about the 1978 stuff, it's more about the how do we make sure we're signing up for things appropriately that we wanna make sure we're spending the taxpayer money on. Anyways, so that's what it is.
Where would the form go after someone fills it out?
To me, and it would come to the select board.
So I think it's maybe not in the level of detail that's on here, but I think it's very reasonable. If you're gonna ask to spend someone's money, explain it. And explain it well.
So, but for what though?
What, is there a limit, right?
So I think,
I think setting a dollar amount is going to be difficult.
I think things that are, like, you always need sand and salt, right? There should be a list of things that you always need to do, that are routine, standard process where doesn't have to go through this. But if it's something new and big, whatever we think big means, right? But new and big.
It could be anything you're not doing on a continual basis.
Yeah, that's
An
probably,
ongoing and continual
Yes.
basis.
Capital.
it's not like we need to fill out the form to buy gasoline this month for all the cars.
No, but it could be a repair on an engine that's $15,000.
No, I wouldn't.
But that's
I
what they,
wouldn't-
that's one of
yeah,
their
yeah.
concerns that came up,
Yeah.
so.
I think, but that's not a project,
That's maintenance or
right?
repairs.
Like, that's making,
Right.
that's Don's point, that's exactly what that is. I think it's like, to me, it feels like it's like, okay, we're making a change or an upgrade, and we're impacting operations, because it's, I want to know that we've thought through, okay, we're gonna buy, potentially, a camera, and but we're gonna change how this room functions, right? If we were to go with that, Cade doesn't need those because those cameras are what, I think 8 or 10 years, something like that, they're years old. Like, won't need those anymore, it'll be a different board. These punky microphone things that are sort of hanging here that, make life challenging, that'll disappear, there'll be one mic in the middle. So like, having the in-depth technical discussion, I don't think adds the value. It's more like, okay, yeah, we all agree that this is a project that's worthwhile. So, anyway.
Do we have feedback for people who joined online? How bad it is?
That's awful.
Okay,
Former select board member,
yeah,
Mr. Brown. Carol.
yeah.
Some of that also is depends on their side too, what they have for Wi-Fi or internet. But it is awful because my internet is fairly good at home and I have to crank the,
I mean, in the end, 8 or 10 years is a lifetime,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we know improvements made.
Are there questions, are these those types of questions? We're trying to make it a generic document for any kind of project.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy thing, like you said, if you're, I think it provides a justification, it also creates a parameter, right? So, okay, this is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
I would streamline it as much as you think is possible.
I think we can get down to 2 pages, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Right, and then if there are follow-up questions, we can address those.
Right.
And it was Ben's thought, I'll throw Ben under the bus if he's listening, but Ben's
Nice.
thought was that he.
Under the fire truck.
No, it's actually a good comment, but one of the things that's come out in my discussions and goals and evaluations with these department heads is how long sometimes it takes for the board to approve something. They come 1 week and there are a lot of questions, you have to do a lot of research, or you have to come back with answers, when this might help in those situations for Ben.
Yeah.
And that he has to come back 2 weeks later, and sometimes it takes a month before we approved him to go forward with something, so. Where this might give you everything you need up front, you might be able to make a decision that night.
Right.
Was one of the comments Ben made during the department head meetings.
Tell him he can attach a spreadsheet.
He'll be very happy with that.
He can attach a spreadsheet to his.
Well, it's good, we can have him tell Copilot to create a spreadsheet for him.
He will not be happy with that. He likes to create his own spreadsheets.
But also, this may slow some requests down, right, and prevent them, because you have to think about it, how to fill out the form, and bring it, and turn it in,
Yep.
you immediately go, I'm not ready to do this yet, I don't understand this answer or that, I can't, but it's not right, it might help everybody, really.
Yeah, it's a good boilerplate so they come in prepared, because sometimes we're asking for questions.
So then if you guys are okay with it, between Christine and I, we can take another stab, streamline the thing down. We'll finish filling it up for this room, and then I can come and kind of go through with you in depth as that project, and then we kind of see.
I'd like to also write up like some general rules, guidance rules with it, so you can formally approve them, and then we can use it to put out with the document, so.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right. TA report. At your discretion.
If you want, the number 8 is the TA info. There's a lot in there. There are 15 items. You can either read the report or go take a look at the items. Some of it, I think, Joanne touched base on the feathered signs, but there are different invitations in there. I don't know if there's anything specific you have questions about. I will point out there is, oh, I think I might have written down the wrong thing. Now I have to look. Actually, yes, so I will point out for John, because one of the concerns have been brought up, it was in Camelot Acres, of a cellar hole that had caved in. That final order went out, but there's also an email update under number 13, so I didn't realize it was on here twice. So number 1 is the final order that went out, and then number 13 is the email update that they're getting a quote to, from a contractor to pursue. It looks like the property is going to go up for sale. Just pursue options for them, either to fill it in or.
So wait a minute. Are we talking like a historic cell hole, or are we talking,
No.
Okay.
It was an install, I think there used to be a building, and then it was taken down, and then it was capped. And since then, holes have come into the cap, and now it's caved in.
Okay.
So,
I got you.
Under number 7, there is an invitation to a stakeholders meeting with the school district. I received the invitation to attend. I'm going to plan on attending. You can read the email. This might be something that might be something also in your discussion on Monday. It sounds like this is in the same avenue as your discussion on Monday. So.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Do we know who damaged the bike path?
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah, that,
Are you in the info?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up, actually. I saw it on the way over tonight.
I saw it the other.
Oh, so yeah, we know, I'm gonna reach out tomorrow to who I think it may be. The only people that I've seen in that area, is the cable or the fiber.
Yeah.
They were there a few times this winter, because when I was coming into work, I saw them parked there. There had been a wire that snapped in that area. I never saw the vehicles down on the path, but that was discovered, and
So
sent
is
to me
that,
this morning.
I wonder if a truck ended up down there from
It
a
looks
air
like-
perspective, and then maybe sunk.
It looks like truck tires, definitely, you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Well, it looks like we might get our seepage problem fixed up in there.
That's right, because
for
it's
10
right
years
at that
now.
same spot.
Yeah.
It's the bubble up hole right
Yeah.
there. It's gone now, but,
All
yeah.
right.
I don't know if there's anything
What
else
was
to
the
point out there, but
Bike path damage
Yeah.
under info only.
there's a funny thing under info 15, that's our, this month's icebreaker, we call it the department heads. You can see if you can answer those things if you want, but you don't have to do it right now. I can tell you the team that won was And they can't pick their teams. They have to draw to pick their teams. So the team that drew was Chuck, Ben, and Chris, and they won. So, I don't know if you have any other questions in info, so.
That's like the perfect width for dualies.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
it's like.
it's a, you can tell it's a heavier truck.
Yeah.
What was this at?
The bike path.
Yeah, I mean,
Info
Oh,
only.
fold in the info
Info
only
only.
folder.
yeah.
We did also have to change what we
Oh,
call
bike path, it's
one
on,
of our holidays.
I was looking down at the infos rather than the bike path. Yeah.
You had to change what?
We also had to change one of our holiday titles, there's a letter in there, and we did look into it, and there is a statute. So President's Day will no longer be called President's Day, it'll be called Washington's birthday. All of our other holidays are correct, and we know we can't change them.
So,
There's a statute that if you adopt the holidays under the federal rules, there's an
What they do with Lincoln, because the whole reason it was presidents was because they were trying to celebrate Lincoln's at the same day. So
Apparently not. It's
No more-
apparently-
You said
Lincoln.
Washington, Lincoln.
It's
separate.
Washington's birthday, so that's the only one we had to change, so.
Columbus Day was already Columbus Day.
Yeah, they were concerned about, I think that letter was concerned more about Columbus and Christmas. but-
Indigenous Peoples'
Yeah,
Day.
yeah. So we fixed it going forward, but
friends of,
yes.
did they show up with a, in
No,
a caddy?
they mail.
Sorry.
Alright, sorry.
All right.
The town report, TA report discussion, I had to add a few things because it's been, under number, shoot, I guess I should open it. Number one is our normal recognition of employees. I have to fix it. I thought I had it programmed, but, on the website, but I must have stopped my program, so I'll fix it. But congratulations on another year with the town of Bristol. We're grateful for your continued dedication, positive attitude, and the quality of work you bring to the town each day. In the fire department, we have Kevin McCaffrey, he's been 12 years. Jeff Ford is 22 years. In the police department, Michael Greer is 2 years. Christopher Bean is 19 years. In the town clerk tax collector's office, Carrie Nyberg is 4 years. And in the water and sewer department, Jesse Lamos is 27 years, so. Under TA number 2, there is, I wanted to get your input, we are getting the beach signs updated. Now these are the Cummings Beach sign, the Ava Crest sign, and then Cummings Beach has other entrance exit signs. So under number 2, beach design, concept design options, I don't know if you want to just vote on. I can tell you what, I did run this by department heads and what their vote was, but if you look at the shape options, I don't know if you guys have a preference. Classic arch, the pictures are in there, but I don't know if you have a preference.
I like B.
So did everybody else, so.
That's reasonable. Come on. I think the other ones with the sharp edges, I think it's not gonna last. It's not-
Yeah.
These are just gonna look like crap.
I just want to pull this up so I can circle your votes. So design option, shape options, B. And the reason we're getting this going, technically, this was approved by, to bring, during the budget season. In order for us to get them in and ready to go before the beach opens, we did have to pay the 50% deposit already, but we wanted to get this going forward, so. And he's guaranteed that they will have them installed. The design options, any preference on, so the design options are the painting. The only, my recommendation is not the full painting, because some of these signs have plants in front of them, so it kind of defeats the purpose to have a full painting. But I don't know what your, and I don't think anybody really was, whether framed or header at either beach.
Sorry. So what was the consensus?
So I don't think there was on this one. I think either B or C was the choice because some of the signs are behind bushes.
Yeah,
And so the fold didn't make sense.
yeah. I like B.
Yeah, I'm good. He's fine.
He works.
And then which landscape would you prefer? He's recommending Cummings would be the beach and Avery Krause would be the kayak. But majority of the people like the kayak, but we could make them both the same or two different ones. I think we have the loon on the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Good with his recommendations?
Yeah, whatever.
And the last, I guess almost last, entrance and exits, overall, everybody wanted the waves. It doesn't make sense if we're tying everything in, not to make it tie in. Those
Mhm.
plain ones don't look blah, so you good with that?
Yeah. That's gonna be nice.
And the only place that has the entrance and exit is Cummings
Right.
Beach, so, I think that's it. So we'll get that back to him.
Are these gonna be hand painted or printed?
Yeah,
They're all.
what? We had Bliss quote it during the budget,
Right, no,
oh.
I didn't know if he was gonna print it and like have it printed or everything was painted. I'm just,
I think he's hand painting them,
Okay.
yep,
I
and he's
wanna
gonna
assume.
treat them like so he's gonna do the treatment like he's
Yeah.
actually replacing the boards. The boards,
Right.
we aren't gonna get them any use out of what's there
Right.
very much longer, so. He is replacing the boards, he's gonna treat them like, with treatments, just like we talked about for the sign he did for the Newfound Lake. But this will now tie all of the beach and the lake
Yep.
all together.
Perfect.
Because somebody did raise a concern that we went away from our standard. We spent a lot, the concern that was raised was a former select board member, felt that we paid a lot of money to have the mock-ups and stuff done. And to switch to the Newtown seal and guidelines, and then when we did the Newfound Lake, we left those guidelines.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we tie them all in together, that's sorry. I felt like if we tie them all in together, that might help.
Ah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Okay. TA number 3, Joanne kind of alluded to, these are the two agreements, they're slightly over the threshold if you put the two together for the town administrator approval. So I brought them, if you could have any questions about them. These are what are getting us started on the projects that we talked about during budget season. There's a data and application migration, and then the add-on services, which include the dynamic sales ratio layer, the property card linking, and advanced queries. So, if somebody has any additional questions, otherwise I need a motion.
A motion to do what?
To sign these.
So yeah, to authorize the,
No, these you sign.
okay, yeah, motion to approve the two GIS contracts.
Good.
So moved.
second.
Okay, moved by Don, second by Scott, San Chagrin. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, thank you.
Just for the public, the road ban postings have been updated as of March 30th. They are lifted on all town roads except for Hemlock Brook Road and Hemp Hill Road.
Yeah.
The bans will stay on those roads a little longer.
Nobody wants to be on that bill anymore.
No.
Now with the new toll booth.
Yeah, did you see? I saw that. Under number 5.
Still come no matter what.
There's an example under number 5. Actually, this came from our new HR person, Tila. She asked me about doing a newsletter, her employee newsletter, and I'm like, yes.
Yes, please.
Great idea. We came up with the title, The Inside Scoop. And do not look at the content on it, but the titles, I think,
Yeah.
are So the question I have for the board, what are your thoughts? 1, 2, there's a section she put in here with a message from the board, and these are planned to go out monthly.
Yeah, I like that.
So, I can bring it to a meeting like monthly and say if there's any kind of message you want me to put in there, so. But do you have any comments or concerns about any of the sections, or? Tila did think it was nice to do the employee shout outs, like, we do them at the select board meeting, but sometimes we wait and do them at mandatory barbecues or so. Okay.
All right, that's awesome. Tell her thank you for thinking of that.
I will definitely. I think she's excited. So we brought it to the department heads yesterday, and they seemed really good too. Number 6. So, this was a warrant article. It is not, unfortunately, the warrant article made it through DRA and the town's attorney, and it is not correct. We shouldn't have put the age limits on it. So I talked to the town's attorney, and I've talked to Joanne. So currently, we have 4 people who are getting it, and getting this exemption. And I said to Joanne, if they are elderly, just move them to the elderly, because they'll qualify for that. And we're gonna have to take it case by case when we get an exemption, if we get it before next year's town meeting, but we should do a new warrant article. The comment I made to Joanne is, in the past, the disabled exemption has always been slightly lower than the elderly. So when they reached a certain age, they moved to the next bracket, which was, the elderly was higher, and they still qualified. So we are going to bring that back to you, to bring it to town meeting for next year.
Okay.
Okay. Number 7, I have a conference I've just signed up for. I've never been to the managers conference, but I'm also going to the Primex Risk Management. They are June 2nd through June 5th. You have a meeting June 4th. I prefer not to come back from Mount Washington, but what do you want to do about your meeting?
We'll have a meeting. We can figure the meeting out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want somebody here?
We'll, as we're getting closer,
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
again? Okay.
we'll see what we have on our plate too, but I think we can make a meeting without you having to be here, just this once.
Okay.
All right.
Just to put it on the record, I won't be able to be here on the 4th.
Okay.
Is it-
Even easier.
There you go. So,
It'll be a short meeting.
I mean, I can make
actually
your,
might be in Vegas too.
I can make your agenda really light for that night, because I'll still do your agenda, I'll
Yeah.
still do your prep, but I can try and make it really light. Because I don't want to be stressed out before, because I will be leaving Tuesday afternoon, so I have everything.
We'll make it work.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I don't
I won't
think,
be here the 4th either. I gotta be at work.
the 3 of us, I think, can muddle through.
so the 3 of you have to be here, or we
Yep.
have to cancel it. so,
Yep.
Okay. All right, we'll make it work. Number 8, just to let people know that the updates to the zoning amendments are complete. From the warrant articles, there is a document that tells you where everything's been shared. They're on the website, everything's been updated.
Right.
So Donna did a really good job making sure it got done. Number 9, I wanted you to be aware of the Sea Pacer press release that it's been created by Paul. I did reach out, he's holding a public hearing at the library, but the public hearing needs to be held by the select board.
Okay.
So we have to schedule a public hearing, and what Paul felt was that they could hold 2, and it would be fine. Ours will be the official public hearing.
Right.
So I'll work on it and get it scheduled for one of your meetings.
I would assume that he would be reaching out to the same folks he reached out that
Right.
he wanted support from, to make sure that they're at that meeting, so, or attempt to be at that meeting.
So, are you okay if I change the May 19th one to say a public information session?
Yes.
Okay. Can you change that for me?
did.
You did?
Buzz, yeah.
Okay,
Real-time work here.
look how quick he is.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll get one scheduled for you. And I read through, I thought there was nothing else wrong with the press release, I just wanted you to know it was gonna
Okay.
go out, so. Under number 10, I need to have, most likely the chair, this is the auditor. It's our auditor letter, we have to sign it usually before they do any work, and it just pretty much says that what the auditor responsibilities are, the management responsibilities are, engagement, administration, timing, and fees. I sign under management, but there's a governance signature, so.
Okay.
there's- Can you pass that down for me? And I did have to add, sorry.
School management.
Okay. I put the pictures on, I put the bike path pictures under the wrong folder. I did have it on my list. I will reach out to that person to see though. Is anybody going to be available, going to tomorrow for sure?
Yeah,
You are?
most likely.
They just want to make sure at least one select board member is there tomorrow for the luncheon.
For the retirement,
Yeah,
I have it on my calendar.
okay. Liquor license, I was supposed to do a liquor license letter for tonight for the Purple Pit. They say that they've had one in the past. I don't have a history of one ever being issued in the past for their outdoor seating. And I'm wondering if it's been confused with COVID at the time, because we did allow outdoor seating and things like that. So if you are comfortable with it, I did double check with the police chief, and he was fine with it. They're downgrading to a beer and wine license, and they won't be adding any seating. It's the existing seating that they're approved for, and it would only be for April 15th through November 15th.
Yeah.
I can drop the letter and stamp it's just a regular letter that goes to the liquor commission for them, and stamp your signatures if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
But you would I would want you to vote on it.
Okay.
I
Make
didn't get it done for tonight, sorry.
Make a motion to approve the liquor license and outdoor seating arrangement for the Purple Pit for 2026.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions? Thank you. All right.
Moorings. I'm sorry, we're starting to get inquiry, and I really need to talk to you about, I think when former board decided it would be $1,000 a license, that was a little exorbitant. I wanted to come back and talk to you about it, because we do have to start getting that group. It's only one application, but there are 21 moorings for groups
Right,
that share the 21 moorings, but because they're on Cummings Beach, it's our responsibility.
correct. That's what I was, okay.
They
part of the
pay,
legal agreement.
the
Yeah.
state has pushed it back to us because
Yeah.
it is our property, that the mooring, but it is a court agreement that the moorings are there. So they paid the state a $50 fee, and the state said that we could charge them a fee. I don't know what this is gonna cost, what this is gonna be for us, and I also haven't assigned it to a department. I would like to assign it to assessing.
A fee per
license,
Per mooring?
per mooring?
per mooring. So it is a mooring and they get a license. We actually have to submit the application with the fees and all of the stuff that's supposed to be required for all 21. And then they come to us and we have to divvy those licenses out to whoever.
Mhm.
And we can hold them if they don't pay the town fee, but I want to make it a reasonable fee if that's what we're going to do. I just don't know I don't know what kind of workload this is. We've never done it before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we never charge a fee.
Are you looking per mooring or per group?
Well, the last time someone said $1,000
I was actually about
license.
to quote him, I was kind
Oh,
of.
and I'm like, no.
Yeah. So is it for the group?
So they do pay $50 of a license. so that's per
That's the
mooring.
state.
Yeah, but it's the
That's
license,
the
that's
state
per
fee.
mooring.
Per mooring.
Yeah, that's the state fee.
Yeah.
We need
They've always
to
been that way.
recoup the administrative costs
Agreed.
of us doing the thing, right? So you gotta figure with the amount of back and forth, because, I mean, everybody that I've ever heard of sort of managing their own moorings, it takes them hours sort of running around. So if we're chasing anything, we probably should budget at least probably 2.5 to 3 hours, you figure, between going to the state, filling out paperwork, going back and forth. What, you think it's less than that? I mean, listen, I'm good if you think it's less, I'm just trying to.
No, in normal situations, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
However, in this one, I would highly suggest to let the sleeping dog lie. All you need to do is spark up another round you haven't seen the history of
Yeah.
litigation on that beach.
Well, no,
The-
this is
The
coming.
state told us we could do this.
But no, but.
This isn't Cummins, this is Avery Crouse.
This is, did I say Cummins?
You did.
Yeah, no, this is the Avery Crouse.
Yeah, okay,
So,
that makes more
yes,
sense.
it's at Avery Crouse.
Part of that litigation
So
came
sorry.
finally to a piece of, court document where, we have to allow them to have the mooring and the dock.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not
And
saying it's a problem.
we haven't charged before, and all you need to do is get one of those riled up, and they will be back in court. They took us to court a few years ago because somebody came up with a grand idea that, well, the lake used to be down lower, and the current legal finding is from the current water line. So they actually own between the old water line and the new water line, and all that land under there is theirs.
And that
So-
someone got,
So people can be on the beach, but they can't be on our private property, which is the first 10 feet of water.
Yeah, they did take us to.
That's the kind of lengths that this group
Listen,
goes to. And I would say,
and someone got his
leave it
neighbors to pay
alone.
half of.
for the sake of $200 or $300, I would
Well,
highly
all right,
say
so-
leave it alone.
Okay, so then I respect what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I
However,
think there is a difference between an administrative fee, which is perfectly reasonable,
yep.
Yeah,
and no one wants us to be
This is not a
screw
money
you, we're gonna milk you.
yeah, I know.
But it is a new thing that we have to do as a town,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we're administering it, and let's just, so I know that we're talking about Avery and not Cummins, okay?
Yes.
Sorry about
But we
that.
still have a same situation over there. I think we just have to have a consistent operating model. However we're going to, if we have
We
to
don't
deal.
have the same situation.
We
I
don't
thought we
have-
had it over at.
No, there's no moorings on
It's
the
Nothing
just,
over there.
Oh, no.
it's just Avery
No,
Crouse.
it's just Avery Crouse, and it's because of the legal stuff.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, okay.
Sorry,
Okay, I thought we were applying.
that's a wound that still stings.
Oh, trust me, I haven't spent $1
Sean, yeah.
since then.
Are
Yeah.
the comparable efforts that we charge administrative fees for now?
I think it's the only place that we have this scenario, is that correct?
Yeah, it's the only
Yeah,
place that we do it.
But like,
I mean, you do charge, so,
For this,
for
other
bid
things.
vendor permits, there is a fee, most people, the nonprofits get waived,
Yeah.
though, but if they're, we call them the peddler's permit and the use of town property, but.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I guess-
what's the use of town property?
So it depends on one event versus, you can do one event, I think it's $25 for one event, 6-month permit, because sometimes you have people that are
Mhm.
doing it all summer. I think
Yeah.
it's 50 and a year is 100, if I remember
well,
correctly.
Those are all things that were instituted too. This is by court order, not by,
no,
Oh,
I
no,
know,
by institution. That's all.
but this process is not,
Not by
necessarily
court
by court
order,
order,
it's
right?
the state pushing
this
it back to us
is the state
to
basically
do.
telling us we have to manage it now. And all I'm saying is,
We've always had to, I thought.
No,
No.
Oh, this is new?
yeah, so this.
I thought we've always managed
so,
it.
and
I
I'm not.
think we did at one point, because I do remember doing it
Yeah,
with the Lauras, who
Yeah,
live on
that we
Shore
used to.
Drive. I remember signing and so it was in assessing, but it stopped and the state took it over and they just apply straight to the state and we were taken out of it. Now the state's pushing it back to us.
Right, because the
Oh,
state's
I
saying.
didn't
really
realize
well.
it was different.
So I guess
That changes.
all I'm saying is, I'm not looking for anything exorbitant, I'm not looking for us to do anything where it's like,
I mean,
it's
does,
a practical, like, okay, if it's a
does
couple hours.
$100 per mooring seem reasonable?
Probably.
I was
50?
I was thinking the same as the
50.
state.
Yeah,
I
Match the
felt
state.
better if I matched the state. I
Yeah.
mean, it's also the first year. We may find
Yeah.
it's gonna be less work. I don't think that's gonna be true, to be honest with
Right,
you.
right.
Because again, they're 21.
Yeah, if we're matching the
moorings,
state and they have to do all the, I just worry about, I don't want our guys in the middle, is really what it comes down, because that's, we're basically being forced by the state to
Yeah.
be in the middle.
Are we good? And we're gonna have to send a letter, like explanation letter?
No, they know. The state sent an explanation letter to them already, and they know they have to come to me. I have one group that's
Yeah, but do they?
not me, because I'd like to assign this to assessing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't talked to her yet, so if she's watching, I'm sorry. But
Yeah, but they don't know that we're gonna charge them a fee. If we
the
decide
gentleman
that.
who's called does know that I was coming tonight to talk. I said to talk about a fee. And he pointed out that they pay $50 per mooring at the state. So he didn't say that they wouldn't pay a fee.
Yeah.
But I said I've talked to the board first, so,
Is the state continuing with their fee?
yes.
And,
They
of
still
course-
have to pay the state.
Was it 50 before? The state fee?
I don't know. I think so. I think so. I don't think that's changed. But it's just that we can charge an administrative.
Listen, $100 for a mooring on
Well,
Newfound Lake.
150 technically. though.
Yeah, but still, that's cheap.
So is it, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but regardless of that, right, I fundamentally agree with you. However, to me, this is a new task, this is cost recovery, and it's just straight up, what's a reasonable way to do this, since we have to be in the middle now?
I would say we do 50, and in the letter we say we'll reevaluate the time, at the end
Yeah.
of the season, and may have to reevaluate the rate.
I agree, do you need a vote on that?
You would need to vote because you're setting a fee. So-
Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we set a fee of $50 to do the state paperwork for the moorings at Avery Cross. That cover it?
I think so.
For 2026.
For 2026.
Thank you. Yeah.
Second.
Second by Don. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We're still gonna get grief on
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Listen, you know what, here's the deal, this is one of those things where nobody's gonna be happy, and I'm not trying to make them
Oh, yeah.
unhappy, but
it. But
if we're.
this is not one of those deals, this is an
They may
exceptional
save
deal.
money.
Well, because we stole it from them.
That's right.
Um,
We stole their land.
Two things, and then we do have a non-public later, so. New Hampshire DOT public information session on the 10-year plan has been set. I don't think I sent you an invite yet, but I will.
10 times 10 plan.
It's, it's a listening meeting to identify public concerns, comments, and considerations for the 104 roadway improvements from School Street to Ayers Island Road. There will be a short presentation and larger paper roll plans for members of the public to review and interact with. Both the engineer and DOT will be available to collect feedback and answer questions. It is scheduled for April 30th. The doors open at 5:30 PM and the meeting starts at 6 PM, and we've scheduled it at the Old Town Hall, or Historic Town Hall. So I'll send invites to you. And we'll also get postings out. They're gonna advertise it in the paper as well. So.
Okay.
And there will be specific invitations to people that are going to be affected
Good.
by it, so. The last thing I wanted to just touch base with you is trying to get ready in case we need a TN in the future. Not saying that we're going to, but I'm going, Franklin Savings Bank has already taken a vote and approved us so we had to close out the other TN. They gave us an extension, but we can continue getting an extension. So, they already voted to approve us for the same amount that we had on a tan. And when I said that I needed to go get the attorney documents done, he said no other town, well, he says none of the towns they work with have to do that. So I've done some research and we don't have to do it. It's recommended to do it, but to have the attorney to review and tell you what you can borrow up to, but we've just done it a year ago, and it sounds like we weren't doing it before that. So I wanted to talk to the board about your thoughts about whether you would like to go back to the attorney again to get all of those documents redone, or how comfortable you feel about just the same amount of money that we did last year and were approved to do last year. So it says that, it says New Hampshire law does not require review by bond counsel or bond attorney for each TAN issuance, provided the town has valid authorization and complies with statutory requirements, which is your vote. The board acknowledged that while legal review is not mandatory, municipalities commonly obtain bond counsel opinions as a risk management practice. So we can still do the same thing if that's what you want to do, but I want to get your guidance, so.
I think from my perspective, we probably should do it every couple of years. If it's the same amount, it's the same thing, we're probably good, but no more than every couple of years, right? That way we don't get out of compliance since it's recommended, right? Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not exactly sure how he does the reviews, but that'd be my perspective.
We have to provide a ton of paperwork and be able to also project cash flow.
Yep.
Right.
And so,
So
if you're okay with every other year, that would be great. But I just wanted to make sure.
I guess the only thing I would ask you to do is just run that by the town's attorney and say, hey, this is what we're thinking, because we feel like we're very much in a similar spot right now. And with this kind of cadence, if we have to continue to do this behavior, does he have any other thoughts? Like what would get us in trouble? At least that's my 2 cents. For interest.
Okay.
Yeah, if nothing changed, then why would
Well, yeah.
why would we spend the money on
Right,
council?
this is not,
if we
right,
don't
this is
need
not
to?
an effort of, we just
Yeah.
spend to do it, it's more like, okay, if it's the same institution and it's the same like, it just seems
Yeah.
to make sense.
It's just a continuation.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. Is that it?
Do you need a motion to put the application in, because we may as well have it in place.
You could do it pending the attorney's advice if that, because if you want me to check with the attorney and. if the
Yeah, we
attorney-
can do it, we
Yeah.
can do it next time. Go ahead, check.
Well, no, I meant you could motion pending the attorney's advice if you wanted to do that, and then I wouldn't have to come back to you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, good.
All right.
I'll make the motion that we approve you to do the application for the TAN pending the attorney's concurrence of our operating model of doing the paperwork every 2 years. That sound about right?
And allow her to sign for it. Do you have to sign for it?
Well, no, you'll all have to still sign. I just.
No, we still have to sign, okay.
You'll still have to
Anyway,
sign, but it
so I'll
was where
second
you
it.
voted on, you
Yeah.
just can come in and sign.
All right, so
I'll second.
seconded by Dawn, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, great.
Thank you, okay. I do not reserve the right to call Colombo.
You do
If
not?
I forget something, I don't care.
Okay.
But we do
Nice.
if we do have a non-public, so.
Oh, okay. All right, selectmen items or select board items. Scott Sandstrom. All right, we'll come back.
Nothing, no, I think I'm good.
Okay,
Okay, so I got a few things. Number one, met with Bruce today about the Economic Opportunity Committee. Christina's got a couple of names of some people that have expressed some interest. So we're gonna be trying to continue to figure out who in the community would like to kind of work on that. We talked about some of the first tasks really around trying to get a better understanding of sort of the state positioning of things. There's a bunch of different ideas, but so more to come on that. Haven't really started anything on the all committees update. That needs to be next. I'll talk to Christina about it tomorrow so we can kind of figure out when to get that back on the calendar. The last couple of Mondays, we've done the meetings with the school, where the school closed, everybody knows, the school had closed Bristol Elementary for the day for the structural issues. They approved spending $50,000 on that building to do an asbestos abatement and some structural repairs in the short term. Last Monday, they more or less approved doing another $300,000 on that building. So that's significant for us, I think, to understand sort of how they're approaching that building, because they're trying to work through their process of consolidation. And in that process, when they're done, I think their intention is to give us back that building, which will, that we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But there's a bunch of structural issues that I think everybody is roughly aware of anyways, but there's that. I'm meeting with the superintendent on Monday at 2, mainly because I'm trying to sort of understand some of the requirements. So, almost goes to what we were talking about, our documentation earlier, like, okay, how do you talk with everybody about the requirements and whatnot? Because he laid out a plan the other night around how they look at some of the consolidation, and they're waiting for their committee to kind of work through stuff. I mean, they were loosely talking about a 5-year timeline on the consolidation. I think it'll be interesting to see how that works, just because of this change in students and just some of the things that they need. So anyway, so more to come, but I'm looking to go talk with him just around what some of the needs are, how we think we get through stuff with that building. He's trying, I think, just in the very quick conversation, I think they're open and trying to figure out, are there any areas with any of the towns that participate in the new Fountain School District where we have opportunities for synergies? And we may not. I mean, it's just as an aside for you guys. So there you go.
That's it? You said you got a few.
Good, that was 3.
Okay.
He went through in rapid fire.
All right.
I was trying. I mean,
Yeah.
I can keep going if you like.
No, that's fine.
All right. I mean, strike while the iron's hot, John.
Done.
I'd just like to mention that longtime county commissioner over
Yes.
Ahern passed.
Yeah.
And, no matter what your political persuasion or thoughts are, he spent a lot of time in that position and did a lot of, public service. So I
Absolutely.
think it's proper to recognize his contributions.
Absolutely. Thank you. Scott?
I have nothing other than just to thank Christina for all the effort she put into helping get me oriented in a line and aimed in the right direction here, so thank you.
Do we, I noticed on the tax maps that, and we know that the building was selling, but visiting nurses building,
It's sold, it's gonna be Newfound Family Dental Practice or something like that. I saw the sign this morning today.
There's a sign up
You
there.
can't read the small words.
It's the doctor's name.
It's, so it's a dental.
Okay.
practice.
I had heard that, so just for the record, that's a building that was exempt, is
Yeah.
now back
Back on the roll.
on the roads.
I know,
According to the tax map,
and is it,
it was,
So it's going back on the tax rolls?
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
You just made me think that, I can't remember where the property is. It's 22 units. They're starting to move forward. They came back to the planning board.
That's Old Zach.
Old Zach, I
Yeah.
think it's Prospect Street or.
Yeah.
some-
So it spans from nearly Pleasant Street, one lot behind Pleasant Street, up to the
No.
existing residential apartment complex up there. And interestingly enough, the entrance to that
Is ours.
is across, they've got a right of way across a piece that the town owns, which is one of those ones that the developers gave over because it was unbuildable or whatever, or to appease somebody back in the 80s, probably.
That was on our list to come talk to you about.
Exactly.
If we thought, it would be good at this point to, for
Yep.
the board to think about.
Yep, so towards that end, I did have a very brief conversation with Joanne about going in and setting a time and talking with her about that list that they provided, and the ones that make sense to offer to the public, which in most cases, there's really only one or two,
Yeah, butters.
you know, interested parties
Yeah.
that would be interested, so. So yeah, we can get a few of those off the list,
Yeah,
they're
that's
scattered.
good.
But that's one of them. Did it have any, and I'll go back and look, but did it have any, was he talking like duplexes, or was he talking,
Yeah, all duplexes. I was
Is it all
at, I was at the
duplexes? Yeah, there you go.
site
Okay.
plan for that.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think it's all duplexes. I don't think there's any single families on it.
okay.
I
And
don't
I think,
remember.
I think it would have to be duplexes to get 22 in
Or
there,
townhouse, yeah.
something.
That's why
They
my
weren't
question
town-
is.
I'm pretty sure it was
because-
all, yeah,
Okay.
pretty sure it was all duplexes.
Yes.
on it.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some concerns from abutters, just
Sure.
about drainage and things like that. Actually, most of the drainage went away from the people that were concerned
Yeah,
when you looked at the map. And
most of the
also-
drainage goes down to the house on the corner of the
That,
cemetery
yeah.
property, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that town water and sewer
Right there.
is partially into the land
Yeah.
already, so that'll be an easy hookup. And it'll be good affordable housing for people.
Yes, speaking on that, like affordable housing, they're building those townhouses between High Octane and Fun Spot,
Oh, yeah.
starting at $499.99 for
You're kidding.
affordable housing.
Well,
Yeah, my daughter's working there,
Yeah.
doing the electrician
Yeah.
work.
That's
whole
affordable
area,
housing.
that whole area is
That's
not
right, and by
gonna.
the way, that goes right back to the point I was making, right? When you're
That's
in
the average home, right,
Right, and you're in the fours, and
That's the new median.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Weird
Well,
Beach is not exactly a place to
I
build
also
affordable
noticed-
housing either, you know?
I also noticed that, and I don't know if it had gone through planning board that way, but the two replacement, I call them replacement buildings on Beach Street from the fire years
They
ago.
didn't, yeah,
Oh,
they have to come back.
Okay, because they're being advertised as townhouses, not apartments.
We have talked to him already about it because, sorry, I got run my skirt over.
Yeah.
We've talked to him about it already because he is advertising them as two separate. You can't sell them as separate until he comes back
Yeah.
to condominiumize them or whatever it is.
Right.
But, so he hasn't been back in yet to
Okay.
do that, so.
Right.
Joanne just sent me a picture. The feather flags are gone.
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah. A few people will be very happy to hear
Yes.
that. Yeah. Trying to think. Oh, and I was gonna ask you about, I did ask you about the dentist office there. I think
And
that's-
the Brown property is officially up for sale. Carol Brown.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Did we get any, was there any permitting activity on the one that the TTCC had sold?
No, not yet, that I'm aware of, no, but that person will, I don't know if he will do anything because the person who bought it owns the property in front of it. So I'm thinking his thoughts are expanding what he's doing there.
I had heard, but again, so I had heard a rumor about some kind of building.
Yeah, so I don't think
Yeah.
he's come here yet.
Okay, all right, very good. That's all I have. So I guess,
Public comments?
Public.
all right, very good.
So I'll make a motion to go into non-public pursuant to 91A 3(2), paragraphs A, B, and C.
Second.
All right, motion by Don, second by Scott Sanchagrin. Roll call vote, Scott Severn,
Aye.
Don, I.
John, I.
Sean, I.
Scott, aye.
We're in non-public.